Hey guys, so I got the idea for this video by the recent terrorist attacks happened in Barcelona, in Cabril, and ultimately the stabbing spree happened in Turku. So what got me thinking is like when my mom texts me a couple of hours later asking me what actually had happened. Since in Italy they basically rated this as a terrorist attack without any absolute certainty. Up until now, we have no idea if it was a terrorist attack. So that got me thinking how in such a different way Italy and Finland treat, handle, and distribute pieces of information. Let's start with some data, shall we? So according to the 2017 WordPress Freedom Index by Reporters Without Borders, Finland ranks 3rd while Italy ranks 52nd, which is pretty worrying, I would say. By standards, Finnish newspapers are neutral. What I mean by neutral is that they do not lean towards either side of the political spectrum. Meanwhile, in Italy, it's a totally different thing. In Italy, there are about 15 to 20 national newspapers, since Italy, population-wise, is way bigger than Finland, and about 10 of them lean either towards left or right, because the writers, the journalists who are in those newspapers have different political visions. So they tend to imprint that in their articles. Apart from that, there are like 4 or 5 national newspapers which are considered non-aligned, apart from Il Corriere della Sera and La Stampa, which are pretty much the most neutral newspapers that you can find in Italy. The others are founded by a non-governmental agency or by the Catholic Church. Yeah, you heard me right. In Italy, non-aligned newspapers are founded by the Catholic Church. In my opinion, that should be pretty much illegal, because the church cannot influence the power of the country. I mean, cannot influence the state, but apparently in Italy it's still a thing. In Finland, there are 2 big broadcasting companies, the state-founded one, Yle, and the private Swedish-owned one, MTV. While in Italy, there are also 2 big media groups. The state one, which is Rai, and Mediaset, you probably heard that name before, which is owned by Fininvest, which is a holding company owned by none other than Silvio Berlusconi, one of the simplest Italian citizens around. Another thing that I noticed about how Finland and Italy differ while talking about treating pieces of information, so media-wise, is TV news journals, or more specifically, how different time span they have for each topic, meaning how much time do they dedicate for the entire news journal, basically. In Finland, everything is treated pretty equally, so you have around every block is something like about 10 minutes, and they're talking about the news of the day, whether it's something happened like inside Finland or outside Finland. Then they're talking about internal affairs, current affairs, bit of crime news, some culture, so culture, media, and all the events that they're like nationwide around. And then there's like a section like a dedicated news journals for sport, which is around, let's say, 15-20 minutes. While in Italy, depending on which news journals are you watching, depending on what party is in power, you can have 2 different sides of the stories. Each and every single news journal start with the news of the day. So whether it's something happened like in Finland, outside of the borders, or inside the country, then they're talking about current affairs. And either, if you're watching, for example, if you're watching Rai's newspapers are generally more neutral, since it's like a state company, they try to not lean towards the party, but generally they tend to lean a little bit towards the power, which right now is in the hands of the Democrat Party, so it's like center left. So generally they're pretty positive about what's going on in current affairs, so the laws and how the economy is going on, how stable the country is, and if there is economic growth. You know, they tend to say, yeah, Italy is getting like economic growth, yada yada yada. So you can imagine that if you're watching a news journal from Mediaset, you can hear that the country is basically in a state of unstableness. It's unstable, it's insecure whether we can make it until the next month, like government-wise. So the government's going to fall anytime soon, and there is no economic growth. We're in deficit. The country's going to fail. That stuff. And these two blocks will swap when the right is going to be in power. So whether like parties which are affiliated somehow to Berlusconi's vision, so to Mediaset's vision, so then the newspapers from the news journal, from Mediaset will be all the time like, yeah, Italy is getting great, economic growth, stable, we're rich, we can spend. So you never know what to watch. Like talking about news journals, like really, you have an idea. It's getting confusing. After that, you get a good 10 or 15 minutes of crime news. Generally, I've never seen an Italian news journal talking about foreign affairs. Generally, it's something that they don't touch, or if they touch it for a couple of minutes, maybe talking about something that's not relevant. So, getting back to the crime news, you have 15 minutes of cringe-worthy moments of interviews, of people crying, of hearing about homicides here, homicides there, stabbings here, stabbings there, immigrants here, immigrants there, which, you know, are considered more crime news than internal affairs. And after that, there's some TV news, not talking about Mediaset at all. You have a good 10 minutes of gossip. Gossip. Like, really, on national TV, news journals talk about what the fuck A-list celebrities do, where are they, what are they doing, where are they getting, like, paparazzi'd or not. I'm like, oh shit, like, for real? Like, really, is that what people need to know? Everywhere? Is that what people need to know? Absolutely fucking not. And after that, you have like 10 minutes of football news. Sports, what they say. But generally, it's just football. Like, really, like, are you freaking serious? So yeah, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed me ranting about how fucked up the news TVs and whatever media in Italy are. Let me know if I missed something on both sides in the comment section down below. So like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure to click the bell button next to the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. Support me on Patreon. So links will be popping here anytime soon. Thank you so much for watching. This is Timppa, signing out.